Yo, yo, yo. Reelspicy, Eternal K. Now we're going to go ahead and jump right into this video, man. I ain't going to take too much of your time like that.
You need people that are flawed.
You need people that are real. This is the thing. I'm not particularly political. I didn't consider myself particularly political, but it looks like I'm kind of ending up there. And like I said, I'm a realist, which puts me on the conservative side, and I'm not stupid. And I understand very well about the world and propaganda and what they're trying to do to us. So you end up being a conservative by default. But you're a real person if you have flaws. If you want to sit and tell a disadvantaged youth growing up in the south side of Chicago how he's supposed to live his life from your perfectly manicured garden and your white picket fence, you're not going to get through to that person. They don't care what you have to say.
It actually becomes a bit of a turnoff.
Absolutely. Another thing that conservatives is going to blow their minds, is going to really upset them. What they don't understand about, especially the strength of my message, is that to especially the young boys of the world, I'm cool. I'm cool. And I know they think that doesn't matter, but if you want to sit behind a desk and go, the Republican Bill 304, you're a dork, so no one gives a shit, right? You're a nerd. I've got the big cars and pretty women, and I live the lifestyle. If you want to really capture the youth of today, you need to get some kind of affinity with them. They need to at least want to be you to a degree. You need to at least be their hero to a degree. This is where liberalism wins. I don't think a lot of conservatives understand that liberalism's sexy. You do drugs, you run around, you burn stuff. It's cool, you get a party. Because what do conservatives do? Stay home, stay home, stay home. It's boring, right? At least what they don't understand is that conservatives will sit there and go, he's a terrible role model because he has all these pretty girls in this fast car and he's a materialistic. That's the reason I can actually help the world. That's the reason young boys will listen to me. You said it yourself, 14, 15-year-old boys, they'll look at my life and go, okay, I want to listen to this guy. They don't want to listen to me if I sit behind a desk and read Republican Bill 308. I don't read that crap. I don't know. And they don't care. And I also think that especially in the masculine realm, we certainly like to see people lead by absolute and our example. Because traditionally we would be following our commander or the man we respected into war. So we'd like to know he can at least fight. You'd like to see he's at least brave. You'd like to see him lead by example. And I think especially if conservatives want to win the culture war, then they need to lead by example. If you're going to be a conservative preacher, you want to tell men about how they should live their lives, you should be as strong as possible. You should look in shape. You should be big. You should show you're motivated, you're disciplined. You should absolutely, of course, we all have vices, but you should be very disciplined with your outlook. You should make it very clear to the outside world that what you've done wrong, what you haven't done wrong, you should take accountability. I think you need to lead by example. I don't think you can preach to men. I don't think you can preach to young boys. I think that's the reason why they don't do so well in school in general. I don't think that's the reason why they're disenfranchised. I think you need to just lead by example and let them follow. And I feel like I'm kind of doing that by just standing up and saying, no, this is who I am and I'm unapologetic for it. And this is what I've done. And this is what I intend on doing. And I'm going to try and save the world.
I mean, I can respect that right there. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Andrew Tate. Like, Andrew Tate is cool. Like, I don't have a problem with him either. I don't have a problem with him, but I'm not necessarily the biggest fan. I don't know a ton about him. I know quite a bit to a level of, he's a former fighter. He could take care of himself, like he said. He's a very successful guy. He's intelligent. He got a lot of women around, you know what I'm saying? He was in the cam industry. I'm familiar with all of that type of stuff. The type of lifestyle, I'm familiar with that. But at the same time, I don't know everything that's going on with him. So I don't really get into idolizing a ton of people like that. I don't get into idol worship and all of that type of stuff. But anyways, to get back on point. So that being said, his whole legal troubles, I don't know a ton about that. It seems like they had him locked up for a while. Didn't even press charges like that, it didn't end up sticking to him. And so I felt like that was kind of a bad rap, you know what I'm saying? I don't want that to happen to nobody, whether I'm into you or not, whether I'm a follower or not. So, but just like what he was just saying, I think especially right now with everybody on social media, a lot of influencers, a lot of people talking about different things, you don't have to look at everybody and agree with them 100%. Just, you got to look at what they represent. And like he's saying, people lead by their actions. And some of the things that they do, you could agree with. Some of the things that they do, you could disagree with. And things that you agree with, you can just connect with them that way. You have to just take bits and pieces from different people and see what applies to you. Not everybody is going to live the same life. People don't live with the same principles, the same morals, the same understanding, the same perspective. They got a totally different cards that they were dealt. They got a different support system. So you could just take the bits and pieces that apply to you, and I think that you really can't go wrong with that.
Women are conditioned to act a certain way before marriage, but also during marriage, men and women are conditioned differently. If you have a man who's been married for 10 or 15 years, and let's say he doesn't sleep with his woman anymore, and he goes on TV and says, me and my woman have been married for 15 years, we no longer have sex, I'm not satisfied, I should leave. Everyone will say to him, no, you can't leave. You can't leave her just because she won't have sex with you. Are you out of your mind? Are you crazy? Stick by your woman. She has an emotional problem, etc. If you had a woman who said, I'm married for 15 years, I've been with him, I'm not attracted anymore, I don't have sex with him anymore. You deserve freedom, you can go get someone else. Why are you putting up with this? His feelings aren't your responsibility. So it's actually very interesting also, the psyop happens post-marriage. Women are also attacked post-marriage to not try, not stick around, not worry about their husband's needs.
Speaking to your point, one thing I speak to the young women that follow me about is making an effort after you get married. This idea, I was reading this ridiculous column, Ask Jane, where a guy was writing in earnest saying, I love my wife. She's a wonderful mother to our children. We've been married. She had one child. Two years later, she gained 50 pounds and hasn't lost it. Yeah. And Jane wrote back to him and yelled at him for saying, he's like, I'm not attracted to her anymore. I don't want to touch her. Just yelled at him for even saying this. And I'm going, no, why are you yelling at him for being honest? The idea that marriage is a finish line is problematic. Yep. That, I got the guy, I pretended that I like to work out and go to the gym, and now that I've got him, I'm going to gain 200 pounds and he's just stuck with me. Yep. That is a poisonous mentality. You should make an effort for your husband.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of times, like I said, a lot of women don't really care about what the man is getting. And again, I just totally understand having a kid, you gain the weight, and there's some empathy and there's some patience that has to be made. But at the same time, you have to understand a man is very visual creatures. And so you want your woman looking good, at least showing the effort to do so. Effort is big. Effort and intent to do better is a big deal. I know for a lot of men out there, especially if you're a healthy guy, especially if you're a guy that has any type of strong mentality, you got a positive outlook on life, you're looking at things like, hey, we could get better, we can improve. And, again, on the man has got to show improve. A man has to uphold a certain standard. Woman has to do so as well. And again, it's no way a woman, maybe you don't want to hear that, but you definitely should be open-minded to being critiqued and having to improve, having to show improve, having to play your position in order for the greater good of everything, of the family and the household. And you just don't get that. You don't get that often. Again, you get some, sure, you get a lot of good women out there, but then you do get some of these women out here that, again, they just don't really care about what the man is getting. And like they were saying, they're looking at the marriage as a finish line, like, nah. And you wonder why guys are so apprehensive of getting married. You put all that effort into getting married and to court a woman and to put all that into your investment, but you get back a pumpkin, possibly. You know what I mean? So you got to really see what the woman is made of.
You don't just get in shape and go, I'm in shape now, it's done. No, absolutely everything's the same, and a relationship is exactly the same, and I completely agree with you. I think the reason a lot of men are also rejecting marriage is, one, because not many wives to find, but two, I think a lot of men find themselves very unhappy in marriage because the women have no interest at all in satisfying them, like you said, or no interest at all in their needs, and they end up scared of divorcing her because they're going to be bankrupt in a marriage where they don't feel respected, kids don't listen to them, and they're not the king of their own household. So what would be the attraction in getting married unless you're going to be the king of your own household? And that can be extrapolated and discussed in two different ways. One about feminine submissiveness, but also about masculine accountability and excellence. Because I think if you're truly an excellent man, you can be the king of any household. So It's very interesting. It's kind of interesting how all arguments come back to almost the same base biological things. And you teach women to be good women, you teach men to be good men, and everything kind of works out after that. And if you break those two things, everything built on top of it completely degrades and breaks down.
Man, if you have a problem with him having cars and women and living his life how he wants to live it, you a hater, bro. You a hater. That's just what it is. Like, I don't even look at another man's money or what they got going on. Like, hey, I'm too busy living my life. Why I want them caring and what Andrew Tate is on. Like, you know what I mean? If anything, if there's any care, it's more like inspired. Like, oh, that's what's up, man. He got a big smile on his face. He doing this and doing that. How can I get to where I need to get at to have that type of smile on my face? That's it, man. That's it. There's too many haters in life, man. So, I mean, if they really, really, truly took him down, I mean, I know that he had, he got a whole academy. He got guys showing up from all around the world, paying money to trying to figure out how to get the lifestyle like him, which, you know, quite a few guys, if they get type of success, they can do that, right? No different than a lot of people. I don't really see too much like of a problem here, but at least, especially in this video. But like I said, I don't have an issue with Andrew Tate at all. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not the biggest follower or nothing like that. Nah, you know what I mean? I don't really follow too many people like that. I mean, I don't idol worship like that. He seemed like a man's man to me, doing his thing, pulling his own strings, being accountable in his life, and motivating people in his life. I mean, hey, you know, a lot of people ain't even like gave people a job. You never employed anybody. You never put nobody on. You never spoke good into nobody. You never supported anybody. I mean, if you are not doing that, you can't talk about this guy. You know, he's at least putting people on. There's people around him getting money. There's people around him getting right, living the life that they want to live. To me, you can't really trip about that. You can't hate on that. Anybody if you haven't even put nobody on, if you haven't given nobody a job, you ain't really got nothing to say in terms of what another man is doing, trying to motivate other people. And so, but yeah. Candace Owens, she's another one that people, you know, it's pretty controversial, especially in the black community. You know what I mean? A guy like Andrew Tate is what a lot of men really need to be. And what I mean by that is standing on your own too, knowing how to defend yourself with your hands, not just guns. And, you know, I won't say anybody can pick up a gun, because obviously we know people out here shooting people in the drive-by and killing everybody but who they trying to kill. But that's a whole nother conversation. You know how to, with your own hands, you know how to defend yourself in your household, care about security, care about going out there and making a dollar for yourself, building a business, understanding, continue to grow spiritually, get mentally, you know, stable as well. And not only mentally stable, but have that be a real asset for you, you know, mentally, right? Physically, you could take people on. You're not getting intimidated. But at the same time, mentally, you could be in any room. You could move and you're agile with your mind. And you can think and you got confidence and you can go in any room and be confident. That's a lethal weapon right there. And I think, honestly, that's why they probably had an issue with him. Who's they? I don't know who they is. We ain't even got to get into that. But whether you agree with him or not, he got his own ideology. And other people agree with him. And they were rolling with him. And I think that's, you know, when you got a lot of followers on the internet, you know, you are on the radar at some level.
I don't think many people genuinely do their best in the world anymore. When I say do your best, people sit and go, oh yeah, okay. No, when's the last time you actually did your best? Like, I don't train to run marathons, but I know if I gave my best, I could run a marathon right now, first try. If I gave my best, life depending on it. When's the last time people have genuinely given their best to anything? There are people going through the world and going through life today that don't give their best or 100% effort to anything ever. Ever. They can't remember the last time they tried. So when I'm sitting in a dungeon, or I'm sitting in a Romanian jail cell, I understand that it is a chance that God has given me and my ancestors are watching for me to do my absolute best and to show to them that I am the man I say I am. You can't become the most famous man in the world for mental resilience and God not test your mental resilience. I think that would be a very amateur way to do the world, that you can now become one of the most famous men in the world who talks about mental discipline and mental resilience and God's not going to test it. I think God's going to come along and say, okay, you want to be Mr. Famous. All right, let's see what you have. So I believed it was a chance to show God and show my ancestors and show my father that I am the man I say I am. And it's amazing how much strength you can draw from that, because I don't think many men especially understand that even if you don't have the strength to be a hero for yourself, you should have enough discipline and enough honor to want to be a hero for somebody else. And if you have other people you truly respect, you should want to be a hero for them. And I think that's the masculine imperative. If someone's going to attack your wife, that's when you become a hero for her. You have to. What kind of man are you if you're not? And you can apply that to other things. If you apply that to your ancestors, or you apply that to God, or you apply that to your beliefs or your core principles as a man, then you can be a hero anytime you want. So
it's so funny that you say that, because it really does. Everything goes back to biology. I think about this all the time. No matter how much sociology is behind everything, telling men to act like women and women to act like men. At the end of the day, women want a masculine man, and when they don't have a masculine man and they beat their man into submission, they're not attracted to them anymore. When it's a tail in between, it's just not attractive anymore. And I used to make me think of this boyfriend that I had when you were talking about, just defending the realm, this sort of responsibility that men have. And I remember sitting there realizing that I had to break up with him, because I thought that if somebody burst through the door with a gun, I was going to have to be the one that would have to defend us, because he was just such a flower.
100%.
And it's in society is yet blaring at men to do the opposite. And
they're trying to confuse us. So it's crazy how they'll attack you, and they'll attack you so violently and so endlessly and repeat it so many times in a bid to beat your soul down. That's what they want, especially from me. I truly believe I'm the number one prize for them to get. If they can get me to just give up. If we can get Andrew Tate to just give up. Being a man's bad. Come on, Andrew, say it. And it's like, it's dangerous, one thing, but it's actually genuinely also sad. When I analyze the situation in the world we're in today, part of me feels sad that we've ended up in this place where the people who are in charge are so evil and their plans are so heinous and the consequences so dire that they know they can only implement them if they genuinely remove the warrior spirit from every man on the planet. The best way you can rebel.
Yeah. That's definitely, man, that's why I'm in here, man. That's why I'm in the Manosphere, period. I think we as men, we got to continue to speak power into each other, man, and really just understand, hey, what continue to come up with the standards. Keep the standards up. You know what I mean? For all men, all real men out here, man. You out there doing your thing, securing your household, taking care of your family, however, which way that you're doing. You're building your character, you're building what you got going on. You're standing on your own too, you're being independent. You're confident out here, you're a solutions-based person. You're a positive person. You stand in shape. This is why I think he's so big in the sector he's in, right? For the Manosphere, people respect him because he speaks his mind, and he's willing to put himself out there as a leader, and show people by example how to be men. And a lot of guys need it. A lot of fatherless homes out here. And so you need that OG presence, somebody to say, hey, man, this is how we could go do it. This is how we can go get it in a legal way. Social media got people clouded up. So you need OGs out here telling people, hey, this is the way to go do it, young man. You know what I'm saying? And we continue to have this consensus, this real standard for men as we go forward, But yeah, that being said, man, I'm not going to check the whole video out. I want to leave something on the bone for you to go check out. I got the link in the description. I just wanted to go ahead and react to this video. I thought it was a positive video. It put him in a positive light. I think we all gotta, we can't let media just go running wild on people and damaging their character, destroying their character, because we all know that's what a lot of mainstream media does. You can get buried out there and it just be all accusations. None of it factual. It's all accusations, and your character, your whole brand can be destroyed. And people don't even care about getting the facts. It'll spread and nobody apologizes. It just stays out there, and and so you have to go out there and start clearing your name and start making it known who you are, what your real character is. And so I do appreciate that. I wanted to look at it with an open mind, because like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of his. Like I said, I don't know everything about him like that. I do know some things. I've seen him around. Obviously, how would you not if you're in the Manosphere sector? But but at the same time, I've come across a lot of videos and agree with quite a few things that he was saying as well. Rarely do I agree 100% with anybody. I don't give a damn who you are, but at the same time, he got a lot of things I do agree with. A man's man. So that being said, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. We ain't gonna take too much of your time. I appreciate you kicking it with me. And again, be easy now. Like that.